Our lesson for today is about the introduction to limits. If we talk of the limit of a function, sinasabi natin that as x approaches a number a, yun namang ating function approaches a number L, not necessarily on f of x. So in symbols, that is, the limit as x approaches a of f of x is equal to L. Ibig sabihin, habang papalapit ng papalapit si x kay a, si f of x naman papalapit ng papalapit kay L. And meron din tayong tinatawag na left-hand limit, that is, the limit as x approaches a from the left of f of x is equal to L. Ibig sabihin nito, from the left values or the values that are less than a, titignan natin saan papalapit yung f of x natin, and that is sa L. Ganun din, yung right-hand limit, which is the limit as x approaches a from the right of f of x is equal to L. Dito naman, titignan natin yung mga values na greater than a. Saan naman sila papalapit as x approaches a. So, doon din kay L. And if the left-hand limit and the right-hand limit are equal, then we say that the limit as x approaches a of f of x is equal to L. And that is called the two-sided limits. Kasi from left, papunta kay L, from right, papunta rin kay L. And it is very important na yung left at right hand ay equal para masabi natin na yung two-sided limit natin is equal to L. Given this graph, let's find the limit as x approaches 2 from the left of f of x. So, tignan lang natin, from the left of 2, saan ba papunta yung ating f of x? That is at 4. Therefore, the limit as x approaches 2 from the left of f of x is equal to 4. The limit as x approaches 2 from the right of f of x, tignan naman natin yung right values or yung values greater than 2, saan naman siya papunta? That is at 4. So we have the limit as x approaches 2 from the right of f of x is equal to 4. Since the left and the right hand limits are equal and both are equal to 4, then we say that the limit as x approaches 2 of f of x is equal to 4. However, from the graph, makikita natin that f of 2, ano yung value ng f of 2 natin? Butas dito, andito siya sa 6. Yung limit ng isang function doesn't necessarily mean na nandoon siya sa mismong function. Kasi in this case, yung limit natin as x approaches 2 is 4. Pero yung value ng function at 2 is 6. Basang importante doon, nakikita natin anong number yung ina-approach nung function natin as x approaches yung a natin. So, not necessarily na yung f of 2 yun yung limit. But there are cases that f of a is also the limit as x approaches a of f of x. Given this graph, let's find the limit as x approaches 0 from the left of g of x. So from this example, makikita natin na from the left, papunta siya kay 2 as x approaches 0. So, the limit as x approaches 0 from the left of g of x is equal to 2. And the limit as x approaches 0 from the right of g of x, from the right naman, papunta naman siya kay 3. Since the left-hand limit and the right-hand limit are not equal, then we say that the limit as x approaches 0 of g of x does not exist. Kasi diba, kailangan yung left and right hand equal para mag-exist siya. Pero in this case, 2 yung papuntahan nung isa, 3 yung papuntahan nung isa. So ano nga ba talaga yung limit? Is it 2 or is it 3? Kaya sinabi natin that the limit does not exist. But g of 0 is equal to 2. Kasi yun, yung value ng ating function at 2. So given this graph of f of x, let's find the limit as x approaches 0 of f of x. So dito, hindi niya sinabing left or right, so we have to check yung left at right. The left is 0, yung right is going to 2. So since yung left and right are not equal, then the limit as x approaches 0 of f of x does not exist. Kasi hindi pareho yung left and right hand limit. The limit as x approaches 2 of f of x naman, so ito naman yung 2 natin, from the left, papunta siya kay negative 2, from the right, papunta siya kay 0. So since hindi sila ulit equal, then the limit as x approaches 2 of f of x also doesn't exist. Next, the limit as x approaches 4 from the left of f of x. So from the left of f of x, saan papunta yung function natin? At 4. Right? From the right naman, papunta naman siya kay 4. So since the left-hand limit and the right-hand limit are both equal to 4, then the limit as x approaches 4 of f of x is also equal to 4. Notice that in this case, wala tayong value for f of 4 kasi butas yan. But the limit is still at 4. So given this graph, let's find the limit as x approaches negative 3 from the left of h of x. So from the left of negative 3, that is going to 5. And the limit as x approaches negative 3 from the right of h of x is also equal to 5. Therefore, the limit as x approaches negative 3 of h of x is equal to 5. And h of negative 3, saan ba yung value ng h of negative 3? At 1. So iba yung function value, iba rin yung value ng limit. Another way of finding the limit of a function is by the numerical approach. So in this case naman, gagawa tayo ng table from the left and from the right of A and observe the behavior of the graph of f of x, kung saan siya papunta or kung ano yung number na ina-approach as x approaches A. So let's find the limit of f of x equals x squared plus 7x plus 12 as x gets near negative 2 using the numerical approach. So in limit notation, that is the limit as x approaches negative 2 of x squared plus 7x plus 12. So for our solution, we have our x negative 2. So ang gagawin natin yun, kukuha tayo ng values na malapit kay negative 2 from the left at kukuha tayo ng values na malapit kay negative 2 from the right. And then, i-evaluate natin yung function using those values and observe kung ano ang number na i-approach ng f of x natin. So, from the left, we will use negative 2.5 dito. And kapag plinag in natin ito doon sa ating function, the value is 0.75. Ngayon, palapitin pa natin. Negative 2.1. I-plug in natin doon sa ating function, and that is 1.71. Ngayon, palapitin pa natin mas lalo. Yan na siya. Negative 2.01. Then, plug in sa ating function, that is 1.97. And if we plug in negative 2.001 and negative 2.0001, notice that yung ating f of x gets near and near to 2. Kasi the 1.9997. So kapag pinalaki ko pa yung 0 dito, so that is 1.99999, maraming 9. And then, i-approach na niya yung 2. Therefore, the limit as x approaches negative 2 from the left of x squared plus 7x plus 12 is equal to 2. Sa kabilang side naman, so let's use negative 1.5. And if we plug in negative 1.5, that is 3.75. Ngayon, palapitin natin, negative 1.9. So, plugging in, we have 2.31. Mas palapitin pa natin, using negative 1.99, that becomes 2.03. And negative 1.999 is 2.003. While negative 1.9999 is 2.0003. So kapag mas marami pa yan, negative 1 point tapos 1,000 na 9, makikita ninyo na super lapit na niya kay 2. The limit as x approaches negative 2 from the right of x squared plus 7x plus 12 is equal to 2. Since the left-hand limit approaches 2 and the right-hand limit also approaches 2, then we say that the limit as x approaches negative 2 of x squared plus 7x plus 12 is equal to 2. Let's find the limit of g of x equals x squared plus x minus 6 divided by x minus 2 as x gets near 2 using the numerical approach. So in limit notation, that is the limit as x approaches 2 of x squared plus x minus 6 divided by x minus 2. Now observe that yung g of x natin is undefined when x is equal to 2. Kasi itong denominator niya magiging 0. So, undefined siya. So, what shall we do? Check muna natin. Pwede natin itong i-factor into x minus 2, x plus 3 over x minus 2. So, magka-cancel yan. This becomes now x plus 3 where x is not equal to 2. So, that is, we are finding the limit as x approaches 2 of x squared plus x minus 6 over x minus 2, or simply the limit as x approaches 2 of x plus 3 where x is not equal to 2. So katulad nung kanina, we have 2 here, 1 and 3. Gagamit tayo ng values na less than 2 but near 2 and greater than 2 but near 2. So in this case, sa left-hand side, gumamit tayo ng 1.5. And plugging in into the equation, and plugging in into the function, that is 4.5. Ngayon, palapitin natin, we have 1.9. Plugging in, we have 4.9. Mas palapitin pa natin, we have 1.99, and we will get 4.99. And 1.999 will give us 4.999, while 1.9999 will give us a value of the function as 4.9999. We can observe that yung values natin of f of x approaches 5. Therefore, the limit as x approaches 2 from the left is 5. Dito naman sa kabila, so we use 2.5. Plugging in there, we have 5.5. Mas palapitin natin, that is 2.1. So we have 5.1. Mas malapit pa, 2.01. That is 5.01. 2.001 is 5.001. And 2.0001 is 5.0001. Which also leads us to the conclusion that the right-hand limit approaches 5 also. Therefore, since the right-hand limit and the left-hand limit are both equal to 5, then the limit as x approaches 2 of x squared plus x minus 6 over x minus 2 is actually equal to 5. Let h of x be the piecewise function x squared minus 2 whenever x is less than or equal to 3, and 3x plus 2 whenever x is greater than 3 but less than 8. Let's find the limit as x approaches 3 of h of x. So, since this is a piecewise function, tapos yung 3 natin is nahati into 2, and the values of x near 3 ay nahati sa dalawa. Ito yung less than 3, ito yung greater than 3. So, checking the left and the right-hand limit, the limit as x approaches 3 from the left of h of x is equal to, so since ito yung mga values na less than 3, we will use x squared minus 2 para sa h of x. So we have the limit as x approaches 3 from the left of x squared minus 2. And the limit as x approaches 3 from the right of h of x, ito naman yung x greater than 3. So, ang gagamitin naman nating function is yung 3x plus 2. So, we have the limit as x approaches 3 from the right of 3x plus 2. Siguro ang tanong ninyo is, 3 naman yung hinahanap. So, bakit hindi na lang natin gamitin yung may equal sign? Again, ang sabi ko kanina, we are looking at the behavior of the graph. saan siya papalapit. We are not looking at the value of the function, but the behavior of the graph as x approaches a certain number. So, yung behavior ng graph natin, kailangan makita natin from the right and from the left, not exactly at that number A. Now that we know na ito yung dalawang limits na gagamitin natin, then we can now set up the table. Okay, so we have 3, and then 2, and then 4. So from the left, gamitin natin yung 2.5. So plugging in here, kasi ito yung function natin for the left, that is 4.25. Then palapitin pa natin 2.9, so we have 6.4. 2.99 naman will give us 6.94, and 2.999 will give us 6.994, while 2.9999 will give us 6.9994. And observe that h of x, as x approaches 3 from the left, actually approaches 7. Sa kabilang side naman, use 3.5. So, 3.5. Dito naman natin siya i-plug in kasi ito yung function na gagamitin natin. So, we have 12.5. Palapitin pa natin, 3.1. Then, we have 11.3. 3.01 will give us 11.03. 3.001 will give us 11.003. And 3.0001 will give us 11.0003. Observe that yung h of x natin approaches 11. So since yung left hand limit natin is 7 at yung right hand limit natin is 11, and they are not equal, then we say that the limit as x approaches 3 of h of x does not exist. We let k of x be equal to the square root of x plus 8. Then let's find the limit as x approaches 1 of k of x. So for our solution, okay, kunin lang natin yung kanyang value. So 0 dito, then 2 dito. From the left, gamitin natin ng 0.5. So we have, plugging in, we have 2.91547. Then palapitin natin, we have 0.9. That is 2.98329. Then, checking hanggang 0.9999, that will give us 2.99998. Observe that the behavior of the graph now, it actually approaches 3 from the left of 1. Sa kabila naman, let's use 1.5. So, plugging in, we have 3.08221. Then, palapitin natin, we have 1.1. We have 3.01662. Then, mas palapitin pa natin up to 1.001, that will give us 3.0001. And observe that yung graph natin, or yung function natin, approaches 3 from the right of 1. So, since both limits are equal to 3, then the limit as x approaches 1 of the square root of x plus 8 is equal to 3. Ngayon naman, gamitin natin yung numerical approach in finding or estimating the limit of transcendental functions. So let's estimate the limit as x approaches 0 of 5 sine x over 3x. Observe that itong function natin will be undefined when x is equal to 0. Kasi ito, 3 times 0 is equal to 0. Ngayon, check natin yung kanyang values kapag pinalapit natin sa 0. So, for the left-hand limit, let's use negative 0.5. Plugging in, that becomes 1.59809. Caution lang dito kapag nag-enter kayo sa calculator ninyo, that should be in rad, hindi sa degrees. So, naka-radians yung mga x's natin dito. So, kung walang degrees na nakalagay dito, this means that this is in radians. Okay, so plugging in negative 0.1, here we have 1.66389. Then, up to negative 0.001, that will give us 1.6667. Or in fraction form, that is approaching 5/3. thirds. On the other side naman, gamitin natin yung 0.5. So, plugging in, we have 1.59809. 0.1 naman is 1.66389 pag mas pinalapit natin. Then, up to 0.001, this will give us 1.6667, which is also approaching 5/3. So, since the left-hand limit is 5/3 and the right-hand limit is 5/3 also, then the limit as x approaches 0 of 5 sine x over 3x is equal to 5/3. Ito yung graph ng function natin, and we can see that this is really at 5/3 from left and from the right of 0. Numerically estimate the limit as x approaches 1 of 3 raised to x minus 1. So for our solution, again, tignan natin, 1 ito, 0 and 2. Then, gamit tayo ng values na malapit kay 1 from the left, we have 0.5. Plugging in, we have 0.57735. Mas palapitin pa natin, 0.9, that is 0.89596. Up to 0.999, that will give us 0.99989. Observe that yung limit natin approaches 1 from the left. From the right naman, gamitan natin ng 1.5. Plugging in, we have 1.73205. And then, eto naman, we have 1.1, mas malapit. So, we have 1.11612. 1.01 will give us 1.01104 up to 1.001, which will give us 1.00011. Observe that it will approach 1 when x approaches 1 from the right. So, since yung left-hand limit natin is 1 and yung right-hand limit is also 1, then the limit as x approaches 1 of 3x minus 1 is equal to 1. At ito yung graph ng ating function. At makikita natin dito na as x approaches 1, sa 1 nga talaga siya mag-approach. And finally, let's numerically estimate the limit as x approaches 3 of log of x plus 1 to the base 2. So for our solution, ganun ulit, ito yung 3 natin, then we have 2 and we have 4. Let's use 2.5 and plug it in. Okay? So how do you plug that in your calculator? Kasi wala namang base 2 doon sa calculator. So sa calculator ninyo, ilagay lang ninyo log of, let's say 2.5 plus 1 divided by log 2. So this will give you 1.80735. Okay? So by using 2.9 naman, mas malapit sa 3, plugging in there, we have, so log of 2.9 naman plus 1 over log of 2, which will give you 1.96347. At mas palapitin pa natin hanggang sa 2.9999, this will give us 1.99996. And observe that this will approach 2 whenever x approaches 3 from the left. Sa kabilang side naman, we use 3.5. So plugging in, we have 2.16993. Using 3.1, f of x now is 2.03462. At mas palapitin pa natin up to 3.001, that is 2.0003. And observe that yung f of x natin approaches 2 whenever x approaches 3 from the right. So since yung left-hand limit is 2 and the right-hand limit is also 2, then the limit as x approaches 3 of log of x plus 1 to the base 2 is equal to 2. And ito yung tsura ng graph natin. So sa 3 natin, tama nga, doon siya sa 2. From left and from the right.